Hey everybody, I'm Chris. I'm going to be tackling a quick beginner's guide on how to get into Fish. I know that a lot of the people are seeing this game blow up and wanting to get into it. I thought I would give you a quick, calm, simple guide on how to start into the game. This is going to be fast, as quick as I can make it, and will cover a majority of the info that you're going to need. So, honestly, let's just get right into it. Alright, so this is getting started. The first thing you're going to notice when you come into the game is you're going to spawn here. This is Moosewood. This is the main area. Everybody knows this place. The first thing you're going to want to do is pull out what is your flimsy rod. This is the rod you spawn with, and this is the rod that you're going to play with for like the first 20 minutes of the game. You're going to come over here to the bay, and you're going to get right into fishing. All you're really doing here is getting used to the mechanic of the game. Fishing is made up of two parts, which is going to be, first of all, the shake, which is how you bait the fish into coming in. You just throw your rod out, you'll get a little mini game, you click around, and you catch a fish eventually. Once you reel it up, it'll give you information on it, how much it weighs, and then if you want to sell it, you can come over here and talk to the merchant. Alright, so once you've caught a decent amount of fish, you're going to come over here to the merchant, and you're going to sell all of them. You're going to get your money up, and you're going to need about 2,000, which should be easy. It's going to take you about 20 fish from here. That's honestly like an understatement. You're going to need a lot more. Something like, I don't know, probably 40, 60. Once you get your 2000C, however, you're going to come over here and you're going to buy yourself your first rod, the carbon rod. All of these other rods right here are honestly pretty useless and you won't be using them like ever. You just want the carbon rod. The carbon rod is going to be what's known as the starter rod. Has a bad lure speed, however, it has a decent amount of luck, a good control, good resilience, and its max kg is going to be 600. This is going to be super important for getting started. The higher kg, the better, because this is when you get into catching the cool fish. So now we're going to head over to our next area. You're going to want to buy yourself either the surfboard as your starting ship, or if you have a friend or you're in a public server, you can ask around for anybody who can give you a ride over to the starting area, Forsaken Shores. So now that we've come over here to Forsaken Shores, you're going to start off in this area. You're going to take your carbon rod and you're going to run up the hill. This is going to be, honestly, a location that you're going to spend a majority of the early game on. It's a little pond where you can catch the captain's goldfish. This fish sells for a lot of money, and I'm talking a lot. You come over here, you get to fishing, shake the rod a little. A little tip and trick for you guys. If you want to do this faster, click the camera button up here in the top right, and it'll disable everything else. Turn on UI navigations and click the button for it. Mine is the backslash, and just spam click S while spamming enter, and obviously you'll see that you'll do a quicker catch. You're going to spend your time here catching as much as you can, and as you fish up, the main thing you're looking out for are captain's goldfish. These are mythic fish that sell for a decent amount of money. The more you fish here, the more likely the chance that you'll spot one. And once you get a decent amount, you can go ahead and sell. By decent, I mean like you only need like 4 or 5 of them. Your goal in this area for now is to get up to 7 grand so you can buy your second and what is going to be your most used rod for the game. The sturdy, I want to say sturdy? Steady, it's steady rod. Which we'll get into how to get right now. Alright, so now, caught your goldfish, you've come down here, you've sold everything. You got your money up, and you're feeling pretty good. What we're going to do is we're going to come over here to the merchant, which you just honestly got to jump down for. It's here for convenience, and what a merchant does, he gives you money. Sell all your fish to him, and then you're going to come back over here to the shipwright. Again, either have a ship ready for yourself, which by this point, if you have the extra money left over, spend it on something like the hovercraft, because this ship is, you don't really need an amazing ship, or you're not gonna need or get one until later in the game. This ship is just to get you from point A to point B. Don't worry about its extravagance or its speed, because most of the locations you're gonna be traveling now are gonna be close by. Get on your ship and start getting ready. Head out of Forsaken Shores, and right here to the left you'll find Rosslet Bay. This is going to be your next location. Rosslet is not an area that you are going to fish in. You're only coming here to Rosslet for one thing and one thing alone. The steady rod. This is going to be your third rod in the game, and it is going to be the rod that you use the absolute most. Get your steady rod, come back down here, and get ready to get to catching. You're going to get back on your ship, or if you got a ride, ask them to wait so you can head back to Forsaken Shores, so you can play around with the rod a bit and get used to it, because now is when the actual fun of the game starts. So you played around with your rod, gotten used to the mechanics of it, and you say, hey Chris, I'm ready to take on the bigger challenges of the game. Well, good for you, I can now start to show you the better mechanics of the game. Now, what I recommend you to do is spend your time here in Forsaken Shores until you get a notification at the top of your screen saying an event has spawned, the event you're looking out for, or well, it'll tell you the name, not just an event, it'll say the strange whirlpool has spawned. Once you see that notification, you're ready to start heading out and looking for it. You're obviously not going to be going as fast as I am, unless you have a friend with the same ship that can take you around, but you're going to want to travel in a circle around all the islands without passing from behind them and looking out for a strange whirlpool. The strange whirlpool is very noticeable. It looks just like this whirlpool right here, but it'll be more grand, more blue, and with a blue beam coming out of it. I'm going to travel around and look for one with my friend, and I'll get back into the stream when I get my hands on it. So, strange whirlpool. Now you've found one, and you're ready to get into the big bucks of the game. Now, the first thing you want to start with is fishing for the Isonade. The Isonade is the biggest or most hardest part of getting the Vertigo Bestiary done. The reason is the mythical fish, obviously it's going to be a little more difficult, but if you have any extra bait, I recommend looking for some truffle worm. Truffle worm will definitely help you in the long run, and it will obviously make getting an Isonade easy for you. You want to just fish around. When you get a mythical fish, if you've seen it before at Forsaken Shores, it'll be a pink exclamation point over your head, and it will you'll see the Isonade. It's a pretty big fish. It'll show itself when it's hooked onto your rod. As you can see here, I got an enchant stone, which I will be covering at the end of this video in a general topics, so you guys have more information on that. But since I don't really want to waste my time on getting an Isonade right now, I'd rather just show you the meat of the video, which is the depths and the best money location of the game. So what are you going to do from here on? Well, once you've got your Isonade, and if the whirlpool is still here and has not despawned, you're just going to jump in the water and swim straight into it. It'll drag you in once you're in range and pull you down. Don't worry, you're not going to die. Unless you're low on oxygen. Yeah, GG's. But now, you spawn into the Vertigo. Now, well, Chris, what do I do here? Well, here's what you're going to do. You're going to go ahead and come down here and jump off. In the Vertigo, there's going to be a pool down here. What do you want to do down here? Well, what you mainly want to do is you're going to fish. Just fish and fish and fish. Your main point of reference is that you want to finish the Vertigo Bestiary. This is the most difficult part about getting to the depths. Besides getting the Isonade, it's filling out this whole thing. It's going to take a while. You're going to be here for a bit, and if you have the time and you have the effort, put up with it, because I promise you, the reward is so much better than you think. Fish here until you're finished with the Bestiary. Once you're done with that, you will have yourself a depths key. The depths key is part of finishing the Bestiary, so if you're finished with it, you should have one yourself. Well, what do you do with the depths key? Well, that's where I'm going to show you. Once you have a depths key, you're going to go ahead and run up here. This is the Vault of the Vertigo. This is the newest update, and if you haven't seen any information on it, I will be making a video soon. If you guys like this no-nonsense guide, then I'll be able to make another one covering the Vertigo depths update. Talk to this ghost over here. Talk to him about, well, what business do you have? You can skip over most of this dialogue. None of it really is important. Just talk to him until he gives you the option to say, okay. Hold the key in your hand, and you'll get this cool little animation where the vault twists and moves and opens itself up. As you can see, I have my friend here, and over his screen, nothing will be happening. But for me, I'll get this extravagant cutscene with a lot of shaking. As you can see, he hits an invisible wall, but I'm freely able to pass through it. Now, walk through until you reach this part. It's just a mini parkour. There's honestly nothing to think about too much of it. As long as you keep moving, you will be fine. The rocks do fall, however they take their time. So just jump, walk through, and jump. Don't worry too much about the shaking. It's really more just a scare factor. As you can see, I've already made it almost all the way through, or to the halfway point, and not a lot have fallen. When you get here, this is your little rest point. These rocks do not fall. They're sturdy as can be. And if you want to take some time to relax, or you have to go do something, you can just wait on these. Once you're ready to keep moving, however, it's the same thing as the earlier half. You just jump through the rocks. This is the biggest jump you'll have to make, so just come over here to bedrock takes quite its time to fall, so don't worry too much about, oh, what if I don't see the corner? So you've made it through, and now you're entering the depths. Good, great. This is your best friend for the rest of the game. The depths is not a permanent location for you, however. This depths location will last as long as you're here. And as you can see, I was lucky enough to come in here and find what is the spawn location for the ancient depth serpent. Now, this is the newest mythical fish, and it's based off of the Nessie. If you want a example, it really is just Nessie with fins, but you'll know if the event spawns because you'll see this giant whirlpool. Now, if this is here, I recommend you fish here. Why? Well, fishing in here will get you obviously the fish that come in the depths, as well as a chance to fish up the sea serpent. The sea serpent sells for a good amount of money. If it's enchanted, that's even better. Once you've reached the depths, this is essentially the spot where the game becomes less of moving around and more of just grinding. From here on forward, you will be doing nothing but fishing up and getting money. Now, this can change for people, however, I was able to make about 20k in like 20 minutes. The money here is not difficult. Mythical fish are abundant, and you will be seeing a lot of reels here and there. Just keep fishing and fishing and fishing. You'll see all kinds of cool fish, I promise you. Just, if you want to take a break, just look and appreciate at the design of them. They are beautiful looking fish, and they will give you a reason to stop and appreciate. Alright, well, this is the end of the beginner's guide, and from this point onwards, it's going to be about 3 or 4 minutes of just discussing general information and questions that you might have that came up along the video. The first thing I'm going to start with is going to be sea events. What are sea events? What do they mean? And what you should look out for. Sea events are random things that can happen either during the night or during the day. There are some that are specifically tied to moments, but a majority of the ones you will see, like the strange whirlpool and abundance of so-and-so fish, are random events that can happen at any time, and I'm going to explain to you what they mean. Starting with nighttime events, that is going to be the moonlight mirage. You are going to see that message pop up every time the day converts to night, and all that means is that any fish that you catch during the night has a chance to be a lunar fish. What that means is an enchant that makes it so they sell for a higher amount. This is good if you're farming for money, because obviously you want that moonlight mirage event. You want that lunar enchant because it'll definitely give you a lot more money. Now, if you're watching the video, you can see that I just got what's called a shiny surge event. This is not specifically tied to a daytime event, but this can happen at any time it converts to a new day. So what this will be is, not only is it a 3% increased shiny catch rate, but also if you get your fish appraised, then they will have a higher chance to become shiny fish. Shiny fish do not lose shiny if you continue to appraise them, and it just boosts their money and sale amount. It's a permanent buff to a fish if you need more money or if you want to show them off. It gives them a different look, as well as giving them a new effect. I know for the sea pickle, it turns it into Pickle Rick if you're into that joke, but I digress. The next thing I want to cover is enchant relics. As you've seen, I reeled up about 1 or 2 of them, and most of you would want to know, well, hey, I've got some too, I've been catching them, and I don't know what to do with them. Well, enchant relics are a thing that are going to come up in the later time of the day. Enchant relics, or not in the day, but in your playthrough. What enchant relics do is they give an enchant to your rod. If you've been paying close attention, as you can see, my steady rod is blessed with divine. What that does is an increase in catch rate or luck. It's an increase in luck by 45%, meaning the rarer fish like mythical are more common for me to find. Enchant relics can be used during the night at the Statue of Sovereignty. I'm sorry, I can't really pronounce the word that well, but go over there, talk to the miner next to the elevator, and he will sell you a coin for 400 Cs that you can use to go down the elevator. Upon going down there, you will walk up to the statue with an enchant relic in hand and talk to it, and it'll bless the current rod that you have equipped. I'm going to give you a breakdown of what kind of enchants you're looking out for in the early game rods. so that you know what you should be getting, because I know a lot of you are wondering, well, hey, if I want to enchant myself, what should I get? Beginning with the steady rod, I know I told you I have divine. This is honestly not that good of an enchant on the rod. As you can see, its lure speed is at minus 60%, meaning it takes a lot more shakes to catch something than any other rod would. For steady rod, you're either looking for a resilient or a hasty. In my opinion, I think I prefer resilient over hasty because it makes catching fish very easy. They hardly move around, and you'll honestly barely have to be clicking to move the bar. The last thing I'm going to cover in this guide is going to be the bestiary. I know I've brought it up a lot, and in case you guys are wondering, the bestiary is something in the game that just tells you what fish you've caught, where you've caught them, and it gives you a little guide into what you can use to catch them, what you what's the highest weight you've caught them. And it's more of a flex than it is any important thing. The only time you're ever going to need it is for when you get into the trident rod and you come here to the depths. As I explained earlier, you need to max it out before you can enter here, but that's okay. You should finish it quite quickly. You don't have to worry about maxing out the bestiary, but it would be good if you did, because to be honest, who doesn't like free bobbers?